Hi everyone, my name is Natasha, and Husna and I share a friendship of 33 years. We met in first grade, and I'd like to say how we met is an interesting story, but it isn't. It really was like, hey, you like blue? I like blue. Yay, let's be friends. And that's kind of how it started. But over time, we connected over Harley Davidsons, Backstreet Boys, and video games. Now, I could talk about how nice and kind she is and all that fluff, but really that goes without saying, because, if she wasn't, I wouldn't be here. So instead, I'm going to share with you a few life lessons that have inspired me from knowing her. So number one, you can keep your judgment to yourself. Husna's always lived life on her own terms, whether it's big things like worrying about who she should get married to and when she's gonna get married, to small things like what kind of pet should she own. You know, cats and dogs would have been the nice thing to do, but of course, that's not Husna. How many people remember the pet snake? Show of hands. Yeah.
Excuse me, can I raise my hand too? Because I remember the snake and I'm petrified of snakes. I was very offended that you were introduced as her best friend. I thought I was her best friend. But I have known the bride, who has spent at least 2 decades standing with the rest of us guys, cracking her usual jokes about the bride. So to see her as the bride is a little bit alarming for me. Haha, joke's on you. But as Natasha just said, you can keep your judgment to yourself.
So we were in our 20s, right? And I was visiting Husna at her apartment in Toronto, and she was headed out to work. So she told me she's left me some frozen hot dogs in the freezer. So of course, come lunchtime, I'm starving. I go open the freezer, and on one side of the freezer is hot dogs, and on the other side was frozen mice for the pet snake. So yeah, I was definitely not eating out of that fridge. So while I was worried about my lunch, most others were worried about who would want to marry Husna with a pet snake. I guess, hello Munib. But neither of those concerns ever bothered Husna. While she deeply cares for everyone around her, she's able to make this separation of loving and living. And to live in this manner is truly bold and courageous. And I know watching Husna live life this way has inspired me in so many ways. What I learned that day was this ability to love and care for others while staying true to our own path.
To live authentically, that's her. I can say that. I've only known you for 40 years. I didn't give away anybody's age, I hope. But there is something about her. Look at her face. And those with cameras, you can zoom in. Her face gives it away. If she cares, you'll know. If she doesn't, well, I have nothing to say to you. Can I add to some of your lessons, Natasha?
Sure.
Right. Next for me will be, you're never too old for adventure. I've learned that from her. Starting with getting married. Why? I thought you were happy. Sorry, bad joke, you can laugh though. And I'm also sure the ones that laugh the hardest are the married ones. I don't know if many of you know, but she was my best man at my wedding. I promise you can be the best man at my next wedding, whenever that is. I am divorced, but she's going to be by my side.
Yeah, Husna's, life and zest for adventure never ceases to amaze me. Marriage. She could have taken up salsa dancing, she could have learned to ride a motorbike, she could have become a certified scuba diver. climb a really high mountain, go on a solo adventure.
Hold on. Hasn't she literally done every one of those things? Here's my theory, and it's my uncle pointing at you. I'm going to share a conversation we had on the sidelines behind that table last night. So he seemed really happy, unusually happy, and he's always a happy man. And he said, I'm so happy that Husna seems to have calmed down over the last 5 months. And so I couldn't control my smile, and I said, it's my uncle, I'm pretty sure she's going to start her solo adventures, but this time Anib's going to tag along. So I'm not sure about the calmness, it's just going to be a different variety. Sorry, buddy. I hope you don't mind, I want to rewind quickly. My earliest memory of her. It was her 6th birthday. It was the first time I met her. And we met, we had a great time, we fought, and then we spent the rest of the birthday not speaking to each other. Nothing has gotten in the way of that exact same pattern repeating for the 30 years since. Speaking of going solo but together, of all the times in the world, she decides to become a certified scuba diver right in the middle of COVID. And she goes, but I'm going to be wearing a mask. And she convinces me to go along with her. This is her solo adventure. Now, day 1, she carries on, and I'm freezing. Day 3, I give up, and she continues. And she was extremely supportive, but then went and finished it anyway. And this is exactly what I mean. She is solo, but she can be together while cheering you on and supporting you. And that's a quality I don't think I will ever find in somebody else again. With Husna,
it's always so great to watch Husna do her thing, you know. With Husna, you're never too old for anything. And I think I live vicariously through her.
Is that cute for me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have one arm. I bet she was laughing when she was diving under us while we were snorkeling above her.
Most likely.
All right, shall we get to the next lesson?
Sure.
I think we both agree on this. The lesson that we both have learned from Husna, the last one, is never take life too seriously. And I'll tell you why. Anybody that is lucky enough to know her knows that she's nuts. I mean, she lives life to the fullest. I need to edit this. Back when we were single digits, I remember we spent almost every weekend together in Dubai. While I lived in Abu Dhabi. And we had the same pattern. We play, laugh, and then fight, and spend the rest of the weekend not talking to each other. But then here's the funny thing. My dad and her dad were one of the first people to get a mobile phone back then. Do you remember the Ericsson 337? Yeah. So I'd spend the next 2 hours after ignoring her for the weekend on the phone with her until the phone got so hot that it would burn your cheek. I remember that. And I recall, the one thing I recall, I don't remember the conversations we've tried to remember, the only thing that I recall is that there would be laughter from her in the first 2 minutes, and it wouldn't stop for the rest of the 2 hours. And I'm not making this up. Go on.
Yeah, man, this girl can laugh, I'll tell you that. And her smile, it's a beautiful smile. It's so infectious. So there was this one time we were staying at a hotel in downtown Toronto, and we had to attend a wedding on the other side of town. So we grab our wedding outfits and head to the wedding house to get dressed. And when we get there and I open my outfit, it was missing the shalawar, right? And I was like, oh my God, I'm panicking now because I have half a wedding outfit. So of course Husna says, let's go find it. So I'm thinking, oh my God, in all of Toronto, how are we gonna find this one shalawar? Anyways, so we retrace our steps. We drive 40 minutes back, from Brampton into downtown, search through the hotel, and we find my shalawar sitting in the corner of the hotel elevator. So we grab it, and we made it to the wedding just in time. So from that I learned, for starters, no one steals shalawars in downtown Toronto. But also, it's not always easy to find humor in moments of panic. But with Husna, she has the uncanny ability to do just that. And in that moment, I learned if you can find humor in challenging situations, it only makes everything lighter. When you experience humor with somebody, you bond with them. And so thank you, Husna, for all the laughter we have shared. With you, I truly, truly laugh.
That's a cue for an applause. Sorry. All right, when I take stock, I know there isn't a single friend in my life that has lasted the test of time over 3 decades. I don't know who's the winner here. Though all the many, many stages of my life, I have been touched and moved by all the stages of yours. You give all of us hope, especially those in our 40s currently single. I'm sure I will find my own Muniba. Jokes aside, Husna, stay you, stay crazy. There can only be one you. Love you.
Yeah. Definitely. Here's to a friend that I can always count on, that fills my life with love and laughter. A bonus that she introduced me to my husband, Wissam. That's not Wissam, that's his brother. And as you begin your new journey, I hope you stay you with whatever life brings forth together.
Not solo. Maneek, welcome to the family.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Thank you to not just Abba's friends, my friends too, right? Right? You've known me my whole life too.